support vectors should be equidistant from this optimal hyperplane. Now, this means that the hyperplane depends only on the support vectors and not on any other observations. Technically, this hyperplane can also be now called as the margin maximizing hyperplane. The margin maximizing hyperplane. So let us recall the definition of a hyperplane. A hyperplane is a function which is used to differentiate between features or between classes. So it is a decision boundary basically. It is a function or a decision boundary. Now, an SVM can be either a hard margin SVM or a soft margin SVM. If the points are linearly separable, then only our hyperplane is able to distinguish between them. If these points are not linearly separable, our hyperplane will not be able to classify these into separate categories. Also, if we introduce any outlier in between, then our optimal classifier or the optimal this line hyperplane will not be able to separate these two into separate classes. Such type of SVMs are known as hard margin SVMs, since we have very strict constraints to correctly classify each data point. We have to classify each data point correctly, and we have strict rules to classify these two data points into separate classes. If the data is not linearly separable, or if we introduce a outlier, in that case, the hard margin SVM may not be able to separate them. So what is the solution? The solution may be soft margin SVM. Now, we basically consider that data is linearly separable. But this may not be the case in real life scenarios. We need an update to the hard margin SVM function so that it may skip a few outliers. It may forego correctly classifying a few outliers and be able to classify all the linearly separable points correctly. So what soft margin SVM is targeting, it is not targeting each and every data point. The soft margin SVM says I should be able to classify 95% of data correctly, and if there are some outliers, I may forego classifying them accurately. For this reason, we also introduce a new slack variable, which is called as xi, to find the vector and the scalar such that the hyperplane represented by the vector and the scalar w and b respectively, we may call them conventionally, they maximizes the distance or the margin and minimizes the loss term, which is represented by these slack variable, subjected to the condition that all points are correctly classified. This technique is called soft margin. So basically, all the outliers or the data points that we may not be able to accurately classify, we may introduce an error term or a penalty term or a slack variable for those. So we gain points for the points or the data points that we correctly classify, and we penalize ourselves or penalize the algo or the accuracy percentage for the points that we are not able to classify. Now, for a moment, let us consider what if our data is non-linear and is of this shape. Clearly, the data is not linearly separable, and we cannot draw a straight line in any direction that can classify this data. But this data can be converted to linearly separable data in a higher dimension. Let us add one more dimension to it and call it the z-axis. Let the coordinates on z-axis be governed. Now see, let the coordinates on z-axis be governed by the condition that z is equal to x square plus y square. Fine. Now the data is clearly linearly separable. Now let this purple line separating the data in higher dimension be called as z, where z is equal to k. K is nothing but a constant. And since z is equal to x square plus y square, We clearly get x square plus y square is equal to k, which is nothing but the equation of a circle. So we can now project this linear separator in high dimensional back in the original dimension. We added this one more dimensional z to it. Now we are projecting this data back in the original dimensions using this transformation, z is equal to x square plus y square, which is nothing but the equation of a circle. Thus we can classify data by adding an extra dimension to it so that it becomes linearly separable, and then projecting that decision boundary back in the original dimensions using some mathematical transformation or formulation. In this case, in this example, it was a circle. Now, finding the correct transformation for any given data requires the use of kernel functions. We have a lot of built-in kernels in sklearn library in Python for this purpose, and we may utilize that according to the transformation that is required for our data set. Let us look at some of the advantages of support vector machines. It is effective in higher dimensions. It is effective when the number of features are more than the training examples. It is the best algorithm when classes are separable. The hyperplane is affected by only the support vectors, thus the outliers have least impact on the performance of a support vector algorithm or support vector machine. Some of the limitations of support vector machines include that for larger data sets, it requires a large processing time. It does not perform well in case of overlapping classes. Selecting appropriately the hyperparameters of SVM that will allow for sufficient generalization of the performance is a complicated task and may be done by the experts only. Again, selecting the appropriate kernel function, as I mentioned in the previous slide, can be tricky. A kernel function basically is a function that quantifies the similarity of the two observations. The kernel can be of any degree, and using a kernel function with degree greater than 1 leads to a more flexible decision boundary in general. This was all about SVM, the support vector machines. You can mail me your questions, and for the next lecture, please stay tuned.